What's good, family? Smash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So we got some leaked breaking news right now regarding your man's Bomelo Alvarez. Listen, I'm gonna call a spade here. Now, being involved in the boxing media, you'll know that we have different sources in camps, and I've been hearing over the last few days since Bomelo got whooped. Yeah, he's very angry with Eddie Hearn. Why? Well, from what I'm hearing, there was an inside, almost unmentioned gentleman's kind of agreement that if Bomelo signed with Eddie Hearn, he would get the same kind of judging provisions as he had with De La Hoya. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, Oscar De La Hoya came out after the fight within the first 24 hours in a now deleted tweet. Yeah, De La Hoya has since deleted this tweet. Oops. But anyway, my point is, you see the tweet on your screen. 24 to 48 hours after the fight, De La Hoya comes out and basically says, Canelo, I'm still free, you can come back with me and you've never lost with me, wink wink. Oops. Yeah, and let's not forget, people, back in what year was it, 2013, 2014, 2013 it was, back in 2013, when Bomelo got schooled by Floyd, guess what, somehow it was a split decision. Yeah, somehow some judge had Alvarez winning. He barely won 2-3 rounds. Yeah, and that's the power of De La Hoya. And people forget as well, even back then, in 2013, Alvarez wasn't the A side. He was he was clearly the B side, if you get what I'm saying. So it's one thing, I mean, getting a decision against Golovkin's one thing, because Alvarez was somewhat clearly the A side, but back in 2013, Floyd was the big money guy. So, and in Vegas, Floyd is Vegas, as far as boxing goes. And somehow Canelo, it's one thing, yeah, if Alvarez got some sort of judge decision and the fight was close, but normally Vegas A sides, they're gonna get the judges' cards in a close fight regardless. Never mind when they actually dominate you. Really, yeah, given Floyd being the clear A side in Vegas, it should have been Floyd should have won 12 rounds on both judges' scorecards because of that. And that shows you the strength of Oscar De La Hoya's and whoever else is involved. I don't know whether the WBC is involved. We don't know at this point. We don't know. Listen, we don't know the details. What we do know is De La Hoya and listen, there's a reason he deleted the tweets. How about that? Yeah? De La Hoya telling Alvarez, listen Alvarez, when you was with me, you was not. And that's the truth. The truth is, when Alvarez was with De La Hoya, any close fight. Now, I'm not someone who sits there and says that Alvarez lost the second Golovkin fight, but the first one, I think it was pretty evident he lost that fight. Yeah? And guess what? He get it on the card, save him. Oscar De La Hoya card, save him. Now, is it a coincidence? A lot of people, myself included, think these Bivol results were even too close, but still, it's almost like Eddie half paid. Yeah, it's almost like Eddie didn't put the full whack in, because they half did it job. You know what I'm saying? They did it half right, saying Alvarez won the first 4 rounds. And let's not forget, people, Alvarez really has no one to blame but himself. He can blame Eddie Hearn. Oh, Eddie, why haven't you put in the same rigging that De La Hoya did? But really, when you watch the fight, all Alvarez needed to do to get a draw was to pull his finger out of his arse in any of them last 7 rounds. That's a fact. Alvarez could have come out in the 12th round, yeah, gone hell for leather, put himself on the line, and he'd have got a draw. Oops. So I am glad that things went the way it did. I am glad that Eddie Hearn was cheap and didn't pay the judges properly, because I'd have been pissed off otherwise. Yeah. Because Alvarez, he didn't even, and it shows you the arrogance. He's blaming Eddie Hearn now for not rigging the judges, when, why didn't you pull your finger out of your ass? Let's not forget, people, let's get something straight here. Alvarez goes on about being great, and we keep hearing about, oh, he's legend, he wanted to test himself. No, he didn't. Alvarez didn't want to test himself. Alvarez wanted to turn up, get an easy fight, and win again, and knock someone else out. He didn't really want to be great again. Being great is turning up, finding yourself down on the cards, or finding yourself in a bit of a fight and pushing through, trying to find a way. Alvarez didn't do that, it's a fact. Canelo did not try and find a way. Instead, throughout this video, you'll see pictures. Not the De La Hoya one, but the other ones. Go and watch how Alvarez reacted after the fight. A complete clown, yeah? Bear in mind, for the last 6 rounds, he didn't do nothing. That's just what it is, people. He didn't do nothing. For all this talk about Mexican style and pound for pound and payday and all that kind of talking that sounded good at the time, when it came to it, yeah, there was none of that talking. It was all talk. All this legend talk, all this pound for pound talk. Pound for pound don't get determined in fights that are easy. You just don't. That's not how it works, I'm afraid. Pound for pound is not determined by the easy fights when you knock out all these bums like Caleb Plant and Billy Ho. That's not when it's made. Greatness and pound for pound, and to be honest, I'm not blaming Alvarez, because most of these guys, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, we can't talk about them being pound for pound either yet, because they ain't been in a tough fight themselves. That's just what it is. And really, it says a lot about today's era. Today's era is very weak. Yeah? Psychologically, these cats are weak. And I'm not saying I'm strong, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. Compared to history, we saw a lot more average fighters with a lot more grit, a lot more inside them. Yeah? I've seen top 20 guys from the 90s put in more effort than these big top level guys these days. These top guys today, yeah, they turn up, and if they can win easy, they'll win. But very rarely do you see these top guys winning by trying to find a way, desperately trying to win. You don't see it. Anthony Johnston at heavyweight, he ain't trying to win. He'll win if he can knock you out when you're 50 years old, he'll win. If he's got to if he's got to find his ball sack, he ain't really bothered about winning. I'm sorry, but the same can be said now about Alvarez. And the worst thing is Alvarez kind of give it the talk about, I'm going to heavyweight. Go into heavyweight? You can't even handle the guys at your size. Not being funny. Yeah, Bivol was a bit bigger, but he weren't that much bigger. Yeah? And for all that talking about you can do this, you can do that, huh? How are you going to go up there when you can't even handle a guy that's your size? What did you think? You're just going to knock... Alvarez must have thought, and this is the problem, you see. These fighters don't have no one around them that's real, telling them what time it is. Alvarez. Yeah? Just because you're sparring. Frank Sanchez is going easy on you in sparring. And that's the problem, you see. A lot of these guys... Alvarez is the cash cow. Yeah? Canelo is the cash cow. Which means that people don't treat you the same way. Yeah? When Frank Sanchez is in there with some normal heavyweight, he's going to give them the work. I've seen the sparring footage. Frank Sanchez was going easy on Alvarez. But Alvarez took that to the bank from thinking, yeah, I'm dominating a heavyweight. Oops. You get in there with Bivol when you felt sorry for yourself. Facts. Alvarez Canelo gave up after about 6 rounds and felt sorry for himself. And spent the rest of the fight on the ropes in front of his home, in front of all of his people. No shame. And then after the fight had the cheek to jump on the rope, putting his hand in the air, and then before the judge, in fact, as the referee or as the announcer was reading out the scorecards, Alvarez had his hand in the air, and this shows you the level of entitlement. I've lost pretty much all respect for Alvarez, especially when you consider the things that have been said after the fight as well. And let's be consistent here, people. We all had a laugh at Deontay Wilder. So let's not pick and choose here. Oh, it's okay to rinse Wilder, but we can't rinse Canelo. No, we're going to rinse them all. How about that? Yeah? And to be fair to Wilder, at this point in time, I don't even care about Wilder's excuses, truth be known. Because guess what? He went in there and got knocked out. Yeah? How about that? So from now on, I don't care what excuses people make. If you go out on your back, yeah, you can make whatever excuse you want, because that's what you get. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you've put your chips in. You put your chips in and you tried your best. If you want to come up with excuses, fair play to you. You've earned that right. Alvarez ain't earned that right. Alvarez make excuses and he's standing there feeling sorry for himself, not doing nothing. Meant to be big, and for years, Alvarez, yeah, has sold these wolf tickets about Mexican this, Mexican that. Oh, Cinco de Mayo, yeah, milking the culture. That for me is what you call milking. Because we can all be, and we can all be this, we can all try to milk, we can all be all that, oh yeah, culture, culture, culture. But when it come to it, Alvarez didn't put on a legendary Mexican performance. He didn't do that. If anything, his fans were booing him, and rightfully so. Yeah, because for years we've heard about how hard Alvarez is. Oh, really hard, yeah. Oh, he's really hard, the best ever, yeah. And when it came to it, he had no minerals in him, all talk. Yeah, all talk and all whatever else. Alvarez is an on-top bully fighter. He looked great when he's winning, and when he's losing, he lost that everyone else loses. Just sitting there feeling sorry for himself, in the ropes, all backed up. Yeah? And like I said, then after the fight, rather than bowing his head and saying, listen, Alvarez should have come out and said, listen, my name is Bomelo, yeah? He should have come out on the mic, and do you not find it ironic that all of a sudden he forgot how to speak English? Come on now. Yeah, I'm sorry. And he should have come out and said, listen, truth is, fans, tonight I got paid $50 million and I couldn't be bothered. I just thought Eddie Hearn was going to rig the judges for me. Yeah? And that's why, again, it shows you the level of entitlement here. Because Alvarez, I mean, again, watch after the fight. Alvarez jumps on the ropes, celebrating. Then he starts putting his hand in the air before the judge's card's been read, assuming he had won, even though he did nothing to assume that. Fair enough, yeah. If for the last 6 rounds, Bomelo had gone to war and just started wading forward, trying to find a way, fair enough, you know. And to be honest, arguably, I may have given him the fight if that had happened. But I get that. You know what, people? Alvarez, he really went to the well for this. He went to... The first 6 rounds were 50-50, and Alvarez was the one who got his head down and just started winging away. Fair play to the guy. If he wants to celebrate and believe he won, I get that. But watch the last 6 rounds. Look at Bomelo's face. Yeah? He knows he lose. He knows he losing. On the ropes, wanna be arse. Yeah? He got touched all over. And he knows that. You know that. And then Alvarez has a cheek here to say, oh, if I'd have known I was losing, I would have been more aggressive. Get out of here. Who are you lying to? And besides, I mean, all your fans who paid big money to watch you, why do you need to be told you're losing? Pull your finger out your ass anyway. How about that? And this is what I've been saying for a long time. What happened to people giving their best as standard? About you didn't know. What do you mean you didn't know? Why don't you just go in there and give your best anyway? What is it with this whole... It's like today, the whole thing is, oh, you should win doing the bare bones minimum. Do you know what I'm saying? What happened to just going in there and give it what you got, full stop, regardless of how easy or hard it is? About, I thought I won and this, that, the other. Listen, Alvarez, if you thought you won, why wasn't Bivol knocked out like the rest of the bums? That's what I don't get. Yeah? I'm confused. Because you must have known that wait there a minute, I've knocked everyone else out, and this fight, I'm spending it all on the ropes. I'm sorry, fighters aren't that stupid or naive. You know, wait there a minute, I've been knocking all these bums out. Now, for the first time in 5 years, I've spent half the fight on the ropes. That's not rocket science there. Alvarez hasn't spent more than 30 seconds on the ropes for the last 5 years. All of a sudden, half this fight, he's on the ropes, and he's telling me that he didn't know. And then he's got the cheek to sit there and listen. I'm glad Eddie Hearn was tight, because I'd have been pissed. And the fact that Alvarez don't have an honest bone in his body, yeah, the way he reacted after the fight shows he was expecting Eddie Hearn to have the judges in place the same way Oscar De La Hoya had them in place. And that's why he's angry now. And I've seen some news reports today, apparently Alvarez is fixing to leave Eddie Hearn. Yeah, he's pissed off. He expected that to be in place, and you can see it. He jumps on the ropes, put his hand in the air, and then the biggest thing, like I said earlier, literally as the announcer hadn't even spoke the results yet, because normally the results get read and the referee will pick the winner's hand up. This guy Alvarez, Bomelo, put his hand in the air anyway before, just celebrating. And then when it went against him, he shook his head and said, no way. But this shows you that, imagine if it had gone his way. He would have said, yeah, no, of course I won. Yeah, no, yeah, I won the fight. No shame. It's disgusting. Honestly, watching it again, I was disgusted to see it. This shows you Carmelo has no integrity. He would have been more than happy to rob all of his fans, rob Bivol, rob the sport, all to keep himself nice and lazy and rich. Because that's what it come down to. He's happy to rip the sport off just so he can look good and not have to do a lot. That's the truth, people. He could have won, to be honest with you. Or certainly he could have tried to win a lot more. In terms of effort, I'd give Alvarez a 2 out of 10. In terms of effort. He went in there with a 2 out of 10 effort and then wanted to be talking to me about how, I definitely won the fight and Bivol didn't win more than 4 rounds. Having a laugh. You didn't win 4 rounds. About Bivol didn't win 4 rounds. So yeah, listen, end of the day, don't be surprised if Alvarez, Carmelo ends up leaving Eddie Hearn. Yeah, because Alvarez don't have no integrity. That's what we know now. He don't. All this talk about I love the sport, all this business of having to go at Ryan Garcia and whatever else. Now listen, I don't like Ryan Garcia either, but I mean, all this talk about loving the sport. Well, if you really love the sport, number one, you would have showed that in the ring. What round did you see Carmelo enjoying the sport or loving the sport? You didn't see it. And again, secondly, after the fight, when you know you've lost, if you love the sport, you should have come out and said, listen, you know what, I think them cards were too close. I got beat more decisively than that. I need to now go back to the lab and take responsibility and not be an entitled prima donna. And go and find where my balls and my heart's at. Because that's the only real question. The question isn't whether Alvarez won or not. The question is, where was Carmelo's balls at? That's what the people need to know. Because we ain't see them. And if you don't like what I'm saying, tell me the round. I'm happy to watch again. Tell me the round that you saw Carmelo's heart come out. Show me it. Show me where you saw this $50 million heart. Where was it? Oops. Yeah? Because I'm sorry, for that amount of money, you best put some effort in. Otherwise, what is it about? Oh, don't tell me. It's about turning up, fighting some bum that falls on the floor after 8 rounds, and then trying to act like you're some great. I'm sorry. We know that the precedent of greatness has already been set. We know what great men in the past have done. I've seen people win. Again, I've said it before. We've seen Nigel Benn be punched out of the ring and find a way to win. We've seen Chris Eubank Sr. with his orbital bone all shattered with one eye find a way to win. And I'm not a historian, but there's loads of examples of people really going through it. Look at Carmelo's face. Carmelo didn't have a broken orbital. Carmelo didn't get knocked down. Carmelo wasn't staggered. He was in self-preservation mode. Oh, I'm going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. That's what he was in. A typical 2022 zesty. Just like the rest of them. Yeah? And I've got to be honest, from now on, I ain't giving no one no more credit. Until I've seen it in the ring for myself, I ain't giving no one no more credit. Because I gave Alvarez a lot of credit, but really, like everyone else, he ain't shown nothing. And let me get something else straight as well, because a lot of people are getting carried away here. Oh yeah, this shows that Charlo, listen, Charlo's an even bigger bum than both the Charlos. Both of the Charlos are even bigger bums than Carmelo is, because that's just the bottom line. So don't always talk about, well, this proves, Carmelo would get beat by Benavidez and Bumlo. Listen, Jamel and Jamal Bumlo are still below Carmelo. Yeah. That said, they're all in the same class. None of them have got anything great about them. I'm sorry. Yeah, they haven't. They're all good technical fighters, and that's it. None of them have shown any minerals, historically speaking. Compared to the historical standard, we haven't seen anything great about any of these lot. We just haven't, I'm afraid. Because even with Floyd, yeah, at least with Floyd, He might not show the most heart, but he always found a way to win. Yeah, for the most part, anyway. For the most part, because he got beat by De La Hoya. But anyway, listen, let's stick on Pomelo here. Yeah, 100%. So people around Pomelo need to sit him down and tell him, listen, let's not worry about throwing our toys out the pram because Eddie Hearn didn't rig the fight. What you wanna do is find a way for you to win it yourself. You lazy looking ass. Yeah, simple as that. Win the fight yourself. How about that?